Hello, I'm Tessa Rickard, a nutritionist passionate about helping you to eat joyfully and digest like a pro. Today, as promised, I'm going to be talking about what to eat for a healthy microbiome. I've explained to you why it's really important to take care of your microbiome, what the microbiome does, and some of the things we might be doing that aren't helping your microbiome. So I'll let you go back and check that out because today I'm just going to focus on things you can be eating. And I know that, you can search online and find all this information, but really I want to keep it quite simple and I will give you some specific foods and things, but really it all comes down to eating a beautiful diet rich in plant foods with lots of variety. So if you're eating seasonal fruit and vegetables, nuts, seeds, legumes, some whole grains, a nice balanced diet, your microbiome's probably going to be doing just fine. So what I always recommend is a minimum of 40 different foods a week. That's plant foods. So even tiny little serves. So say you make yourself a beautiful curry and you add, cumin and some paprika and some curry powder. They all three of those count towards your 40 different plant foods, but you can't count them again if, say, you have it the next day as leftovers. So once you've counted them once, that's it, because it's about the variety, not the actual quantity of serves. So you might like to keep yourself a little journal for the week and see how you're going. I can often get up to about 70 different plant foods in a week, and it's sort of fun to see if you can beat your own record. It's a little bit easier in summer and spring when there's a lot of different fresh fruit and vegetables available. But the first thing I wanted to tell you about was prebiotics. So these foods are rich in fiber that the good gut bugs consume. And you can get them from foods and supplements, and they include things like onion, garlic, leek, fennel, legumes. Jerusalem artichokes is a really good one. Some seaweeds, oats, and some whole grains. Most nuts and seeds, things like that. And I know you're thinking, hang on, I react to those foods. They're the foods that make me feel really ill. Yes, that's because the good bacteria are consuming and fermenting and creating a lot of gas. If you're worried about that, please message me and we can talk about it. Obviously, if you're getting horrific pain and bloating, don't consume those foods, but you need to work on it. And you can get to the stage where you can slowly increase those foods and work on your gut health so that you don't have to miss out on those beautiful prebiotics. That's the prebiotic foods, not probiotics, often confused. The next thing is resistant starches. So again, you're looking at your legumes, potatoes, unripe bananas, and plantains are a really good one as well. Recently, we've found out that you can cook rice and potatoes, let them cool, and then reheat them, and they become resistant starch too. Just a little word of warning, if you jump right into the resistant starch bandwagon, again, you might get a little bit of bloating, but what can happen is you can have a lot of farting. So I'm forewarning you, you might want to start really slowly and build yourself up. Sometimes with my clients, I will literally start with a couple of legumes a day and will increase, because legumes are a really healthy part of a good diet that really supports your microbiome health and your gut health. So we want to get those foods back in, but we just have to start really gradually and work on the health and reducing inflammation as we're going. All right, the next one is polyphenols. So polyphenols are a type of antioxidant, and they're often responsible for the really colorful foods. So things like a lot of your really dark black, red, and purple berries and grapes are really rich in those polyphenols. Red wine, things like black beans, purple onion, purple cabbage, onion, carrots, sweet potato. All of those purple ones are really great as well. Make sure you eat the skins, not the papery onion skins though. That's all right. Spices are a really big one. So cloves are actually the highest, contain the highest amount of polyphenols. Of course, you're only having a tiny bit, but it's another good reason to have a nice homemade spicy chai every day with all those different beautiful spices as well. And things like, I already mentioned red wine, but green tea, extra virgin olive oil, coffee and black tea and cacao as well are all really high in those beautiful polyphenols. Try and include some of them each day. Obviously, if you don't tolerate them, don't have them. There's plenty of variety in these sorts of antioxidants. You can just choose something else. The next one is some prebiotics supplements. So Well, supplements and foods. So sometimes what I'll do with my clients is I'll use a therapeutic dose of something like things like flax meal, acacia, partially hydrolyzed guar gum, pectin, slippery elm. These things can be really beneficial, especially in the beginning when you're really symptomatic. If you've got IBS and you're really struggling, these things can really help slowly ease you in and get that microbiome nice and healthy so that we can start in with the onion and garlics and things like that. So you can take supplements as well. You can find supplements that contain, the polyphenols from the grapes and all that sort of the green teas and all that sort of thing. But, unless sometimes in the beginning we need to start with those things for maybe 3 months or so if things are really dire. So if you've been really sick and you've had a lot of antibiotics, or your microbiome test has come back and there's a lot of pathogenic bacteria that have overgrown, and a lot of the good guys are really struggling when their population numbers, we sometimes start with these prebiotic and polyphenol supplements. Usually only for maximum 6 months though, and then we'll start to just use foods. And long term, you can maintain your gut health beautifully with just real food, and that's something you can start today. One way you can do this is when you go shopping next time, or when you're doing your online shopping, as I think most people are at the moment during COVID and lockdown, try and get some variety of different things. So instead of just getting your typical orange sweet potato, try getting some purple sweet potato or some white sweet potato instead. And next week, try a different color. When you're getting grapes, try and get different colored grapes. Things like apples, try and experiment with some different seeds and spices, and just try and bring as many as you can in and see how you go with that. If you have any questions or queries, get in touch, and please share this video. It's, I believe, pivotal that we all care for our microbiome. It's just too important for too many functions in our body. So please get on board. Let me know how you go, and tag me in any of your posts with your special 40 plant foods journals this week.